Welcome students to our English class standard 11. We were doing section 4, 4.1 History of English Drama. As we had seen about restoration period in the last centuries, now in the last videos In the last video, we had seen about restoration period, and during the 18th century, we have seen that it was a Victorian period time. During the reign of Queen Victoria, we have seen that it was comedy of sentimentalism had come to an end, and all types of plays were performed during this era, and it was mainly called as comedy of manners. So the importance of being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, Candia by G.B. Shaw, A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen, An Enemy of the People. All these plays, all these different kinds of comedies and other plays were performed during this era. Now comes the modern theatre. It is the time of 19th century. The modern theatre with its picture frame stage. The actresses were performing the female parts. It had the movable scenery design to create the visual image, and also there were artificial lightings which had developed during the restoration period. So all this made drama more interesting in modern theatre. At the time of modern theatre, it had a clear influence of France in the theatre, in the audience and the themes of the drama. The drama of the 19th century, it was on an whole on a declining stage because of many reasons. The change in the structure of the society, because of the modified human personalities, that is the style of living, there was a change, and also there was a new interpretation for essential things. So that is why the style of drama in the 19th century in the modern theatre had changed. Talking about the theatre was not much regularly visited for the melodrama and the farce. The simple reason for that was because there was a domination of Covent Garden and Drury Lane, these two houses where serious dramas were performed. Now the audience which gathered in the 19th century in the theatre, that was not very much intelligent. Also they did not have the imagination like that of the audience of Elizabethan audience. So that was the reason why the theatres were not much visited by the audiences. The theatre at the time of 19th century was in danger because it was not much related to the life of that time. Now Ibsen, the great Norwegian dramatist of 19th century, he dominated the modern drama. He had developed realistic social psychological dramas like The Doll's House, Ghost and The Enemy of the People. The dramas of Ibsen, the Norwegian dramatist, were more subtle, that is more descriptive in the stagecraft, and also they were more profound in thought, that is more intelligent in thought than any other dramas in the modern English theatre. So they were less easy to understand. They were quite intelligent dramas. That is why they were not understood by everyone. But it was only George Bernard Shaw, that is G.B. Shaw, who was deeply influenced, who understood the dramas, and he was influenced by Ibsen's innovative styles of writing and his contributions and his experimentations towards writing drama. G.B. Shaw was the most brilliant playwright of his times. He alone understood the greatness of Ibsen's writings, so he was determined that the plays should be taken forward, the ideas of Ibsen should be taken forward, and that responsibility of uplifting the ideas and the drama of Ibsen lied on the shoulders of Oscar Wilde and G.B. Shaw in the late 19th and early 20th century. As competing with the 19th century, 20th century showed a lot of talent in the drama. H. Granville Barker, John Galsworthy, S. John Arvin were some of the playwrights who had explored the problems of contemporary, that is, of that time. Now, Sir John Arvin, he was associated with a group of Irish dramatists. He displayed his work normally that were produced in the Abbey Theatre in Dublin. So these were the writers who had worked during the 20th century. The best in the modern drama in English developed from this movement. Some of the originators like Lady Gregory, W.B. Yeats and J.M. Synge. They were the most important dramatists of the Irish revival, and they used the sense of tragic irony, the violent species of humor and rich and highly flavored language to write dramas, because of which drama had become more popular during this time. In the early 40s of 20th century, T.S. Eliot experimented with Greek tragedy. Other dramatists of modern era like John Osborne wrote on people who grew up after the Second World War. Kingsley Amis, he wrote about the frustrated anti-establishment of young people. Osborne's Look Back in Anger brought a new strength, that is vitality, to the theatre scene. Drama in the 20th century was more cultural phenomena, that is more the work of culture than the work of literature. Other important playwrights of modern era included Anton Chekhov, Bertolt Brecht, Eugene O'Neill, Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, Eugen Ionesco, Samuel Beckett and Harold Pinter. As we are talking about the theatre and drama, let's talk about Indian theatre. The earliest seeds of modern Indian drama, we can find it in the Sanskrit drama from the 1st century AD in the book Mahabhyasa by Patanjali. It provides us the description of the dates from the beginning of the theatre in India. Natya Shastra, it is a major source of evidence. It is written by Bharat Muni. It is a details about the theatres, the work of dramatology in ancient world. It gives us mythological account of the origin of theatre. Talking about modern Indian drama, it has its influence from all over the world as well as Sanskrit and Urdu traditions. In this slide, you can have a look at some of the images of Indian theatre. With this, we have come to an end of History of English Drama. Now, in the next class, we will be doing Elements of Drama. Meet you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.